After nearly 20 years, Team Avatar returns. I just watched Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender on Paramount Plus, and it hit me in all the right ways. I mainly cover anime on this channel, but Atla has always held a special place with me. Long before the animated storytelling became the norm for mainstream audiences, Avatar proved that a cartoon could tell a mature, emotional layered story without losing its sense of adventure. Its unforgettable characters, rich world building, and carefully crafted narrative raised the bar for what television animation could achieve. Even nearly 2 decades later, it's still the series people point out to when talking about the gold standard of character development and storytelling. At its heart, Avatar is the story of a young boy suddenly burdened with becoming the world's last hope. But from the moment Aang ran away, he also carried something far heavier than the title of Avatar, a guilt he believed would follow him for the rest of his life. A decade or so has passed since the events of Atla, and the world has changed. Under Aang's leadership, the four nations came together to build Republic City, a thriving metropolis where benders and non-benders live side by side in peace. It's a symbol of everything Aang fought to protect and the future he dreamed of creating. By all accounts, life is good. The nations are united, the world is at peace. I mean, even the cabbage merchant finally caught a break. The visuals are absolutely stunning. Every environment feels carefully crafted, making the world feel bigger, richer, and more alive than ever before. The fight scenes, they are peak, and wouldn't look out of place in a modern shonen anime. For a Western animation studio to produce action sequences of this quality, it's seriously impressive. My favorite scene in the movie was the airship fight, where Team Avatar had to work together to fend off the Denied. The choreography was incredible, and I was on the edge of my seat. The fighting scenes alone in this movie are worth the Paramount Plus subscription. Well, that, and Star Trek. Aang is now the Avatar, a symbol of promise, a leader who helped unite the four nations, living proof that balance has finally returned to the world. As grateful as Aang is for Katara, Sokka, Toph, Zuko, and his accomplishments, a part of him still feels alone. He's the last air nomad, the last living connection to an entire civilization. So he travels the world searching for forgotten temples, recovering ancient relics, and preserving traditions of his people. Along the way, Aang crosses paths with an extremist group known as the Denied, a movement of non-benders fighting to seize power. He also encounters an ancient air nomad named Taga, who teaches him the forgotten traditions of airbending. After speaking to Taga, Aang learns about this mysterious staff that can grant people the ability to airbend. For Aang, that's all he needs to hear. He immediately sets off to find it, hoping this one discovery could change everything, kind of like me, and my dream of discovering the truth about the YouTube algorithm. I did want to mention something that really stood out to me throughout the movie. Even after everything Aang has done, defeating the Fire Nation, bringing peace to the world, restoring balance, he still carries survivor's guilt. He blames himself for the fate of the air nomads, the nightmares, the trauma, losing monk Gyatso. Not gonna lie, the scenes with Gyatso made me tear up like a potato. Aang's obsession with finding the staff begins to cloud his judgment, putting Katara and the rest of the gang in danger. But, just like the series we've all come to love, Aang rises to the occasion and reminds us why we fell in love with this character in the first place. Oh, and we have to talk about the music. The original composer from Avatar The Last Airbender, Jeremy Zuckerman, returns, and he absolutely cooks. From beginning to end, the soundtrack is fantastic. The moment you hear that iconic hook, you know what I mean, you know something big is about to go down. Katara. What's there to say about Katara? She waterbends, she heals, she kicks ass. A woman after my own heart. It's safe to say she's Aang's emotional anchor, and rightfully so. I mean, when you're dating the Avatar, emotional support kind of comes with a job description. It's hard not to root for Katara. She balances strength and empathy in a way few characters ever could. She's Aang's ride or die, and she'd go to the ends of the earth for him. It's also great to see her stand her ground whenever someone questions her abilities or underestimates what she can do. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Paku. But that's Katara, compassionate when she needs to be, confident when it matters most, and never afraid to remind people exactly who they're dealing with. You can really tell in the movie that Katara really loves Aang. I mean, every time she sees him, she goes straight to him. It's kind of endearing, you know? Toph, she's as cool as ever, throwing quips, cracking jokes, and crushing on someone every chance she gets. We've all seen what she can do with earthbending, but her mastery of metal bending is on a whole different level. She bends slabs of metal like they're made of paper, launching them across the battlefield and tearing through wave after wave of enemies without breaking a sweat. She's basically a mini Magneto, just with a lot of sarcasm. Sokka's still the comic relief and hype man of the group. Leave it to Sokka to come up with something crazy that actually works. There were so many moments where I was like, what the fuck is Sokka gonna do? And then he'd come up with a plan that somehow saved the day. Just a boomerang and a brain, classic Sokka. Oh, and shout out to Ramon Zaragoza. Sokka's not an easy character to voice. He did a great job. And then there's my boy Zuko, leading Team Avatar when Aang's not around. He shows that even as Fire Lord, he's never stopped being a loyal friend or a dependable leader. There's a scene where Aang delivers Zuko a letter, and let's just say there are words that weren't supposed to be said out loud. I chuckled. And I have to say this, and I will say this, Zuko is my favorite character from the series, a masterclass in character development, but there is one small issue I had with him in the film, and it's something most people will probably overlook. I wanted more Zuko. That's it. Call it selfish, call it greedy, call it whatever you want. I'm a Zuko fanboy. I remember reading The Search graphic novel years ago. It follows Zuko, Azula, and the rest of Team Avatar as they search for the truth about what really happened to Ursa, Zuko's mother, right? And there's one thing I learned. Want to make a likable character? More Zuko. Want to make a good story? More Zuko. Want to make a great movie? More Zuko. Want to make ramen taste better? More, say it with me now, Zuko. Despite my totally unbiased issue with Zuko, I get it. This is Aang's story, and it deserves to stay centered on him. It's Zuko, man. Appa and Momo make a return as well. Appa still loves belly rubs, and Momo, he's hanging around. I should talk about the other characters real quick. First, the Denied. As mentioned earlier, they're a brand new faction made up entirely of non-benders. Their goal is to find the staff before Aang, in hopes of gaining airbending powers of their own. Which, I don't really blame them. Airbending is the coolest element. That said, they're a formidable enemy, and will stop at nothing to get what they want. There's Togga, the ancient airbender. When I first heard his voice, I thought, he kind of sounds like Batista. Turns out, he is Batista. And just like Batista, he's built like a brick wall and covered in tattoos like an air nomad scroll. I don't want to say much about him because, you know, spoilers. But Togga drops a quote that perfectly captures the soul of the movie. Air nomads are formed from the mist. We walk the world for a moment in time. Then we return to the eternal wind. When I heard it, it made my toes wiggle. Real powerful stuff. It's a great motto for the air nomads. So naturally, I started wondering what the other nations' mottos would sound like if each element had its own inspirational saying. I imagine it'd go something like this. Water tribe, flow with purpose. The moon lights our path, and the tide carries us home. Earth kingdom, built by stone, bound by strength. Fire nation, it hurts, buddy. I don't know, that's the best I can come up with. Looking back on Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, I walked away impressed. The visuals are stunning. The action scenes are some of the best I've seen from a Western animation studio in years. The voice cast did a solid job stepping into some incredibly big shoes. And seeing Team Avatar together again, it felt like coming home. As great as everything was, I always came back to Aang. Years have passed since the original series. The world has healed. His friends have moved forward. Life goes on. Aang, however, is still standing in the same place, stuck on the day he lost everything. He's still grieving the loss of his people. No matter how much time passes, guilt keeps asking the same question, what if? It's hard to find peace when you're constantly reminded of your failures, your regrets, and the people you've lost along the way. Healing rarely happens alone. Friends, family, they recognize how far we've come, even when we can't. But every journey reaches a moment when no one else can take the next step for you. And when that time comes, you have to decide whether to keep looking back or finally forgive yourself. The greatest victory isn't changing the past, it's finally accepting it. Thanks for watching. And as always, remember to save your progress, because your story is far from over. If you made it to the end of the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel. Thanks.